Hello. It's important to know that as human beings, we all share 7 basic human needs. And understanding these needs can greatly help you in understanding your spouse and your relationship.
Couples Pursuit.
Hello, this is Vincent
and Valerie
Woodard. And on this episode of Couples Pursuit Live,
we're going to talk about how to understand the 7 basic needs of your spouse, or should I say 7 basic needs, because there are many needs.
Yes. It's human to go through life. There are certain things that we actually need to be fulfilled, to seem fulfilled in life. Mm-hmm. And knowingly or not knowing about it, we can also understand that these needs come into our relationship. They're not just life. They're here to help you understand yourself better. And what we're going to talk about today is once you understand what these needs are, you can see how they will relate to your relationship. And from that, you can improve, do a self-calibration of yourself and see what needs to be improved, or maybe some things that you was wondering, man, I noticed that about me. I need to change that.
Or I like that.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. Yeah. So welcome everybody. And we're talking about the 7 basic human needs and how to understand them better. If you got an idea of what they are, please let us know. Drop a comment, join the conversation, because it's going to be good. This is going to be good. It's going to be very helpful to you. So go ahead and put it out there. The 7 basic human needs. We believe 1 is certainty. The other is uncertainty or variety. Significance. Connection. Love. Those are the 5 basic human needs. But then we have some spiritual needs, we believe. And there are the need for growth and the need for contribution. Amen, baby?
Amen.
So let's talk about this first need, certainty, and how it impacts us in our relationship. And what is it about it that is it something that we need, and what value do we place on it? Because we all have these needs, like I said before, we're going to get into it. But what value do we place on it, and what do we believe about ourselves, what if they can be achieved? Certainty. In other words, are comfort,
security, stability. And for me, that's a big one. Certainty is definitely necessary in a relationship for me. We talked about before many times that, men really desire and crave respect and honor in a relationship, and women desire love and stability. And stability in the sense that I want to know that I'm going to be okay. Yes. I want to know that we're going to be okay. I don't want to have to wonder about that. And so certainty, that's huge for me.
Yes. Yes. And also with me, when I was looking at this, I was wondering what part did it play in my life, and how did it show up in our relationship? And I believe, for another word, is comfort. I don't like not knowing where my next meal is coming from. I do not like wondering if my wife still loves me. I want to be certain in some areas in my life. And I'm not all the time going to have everything all together, but I know that's how it impacts me. It drives me to go to work. It drives me to check on you to see how you're doing. It drives me to really not want to feel like these needs are not going to be met. Like I'm not going to eat. I don't want to be uncertain. You're going to feel some kind of way about me. I don't want to be uncertain in that scenario.
And you also don't want me to feel uncertain, which is one of the things that drives you to make sure that you provide for our family. I mean, most of our marriage. We both have worked. This last year, I haven't.
You sing all over the place.
Oh, well, I haven't been employed other, right? I'm self-employed in different ways.
Come on now. I ain't gonna let you go that easy.
Okay. I'll say I haven't. I've been working on entrepreneurial things.
Yep.
And so, thank you, husband. See, that gives me certainty. But you have always made sure, because you have the desire to be certain about where your next meal is going to come from, that the bills are going to be paid. I've never had a problem with you going to work, with you keeping a job. You've had one job in the 25 years that I've known you. And I think that's wonderful. We're not going to talk about how many jobs I've had.
Well, we have so
I am
many
a creative person, and so
yeah.
everything that comes with that, still working towards what God has called me to, and leaving those other things behind. But I thank you, because I know you do it because you need it to feel that certainty also. But it does transfer, so I don't have to worry about, where my husband is, if he's going to go to work today, if there's going to be a pink slip or anything like that. And that is a huge thing, because many people deal with, spouses, oftentimes male spouses, who don't, retain a job, don't retain employment.
Well, I think that's the good side of certainty, is not, I want to work, I want to provide, I want to know what's to be expected, and what I expect is to not wonder where my food is coming from, not wonder where my wife is love. But there's also some people that's certainty can go wrong, where they want to stay comfortable, and they don't want to work. They don't want to experience discomfort. They don't want to really go
outside the box,
outside, meet other people, interact, and they don't want to be in other environments where they can be exposed or they can challenge. Yeah, so their certainty is actually like working against them if this is one of their key basic needs that they value the most.
That's good. So let's talk about uncertainty.
Yes.
Who really wants to be uncertain? What does that speak to?
Uncertainty is also another word for variety sometimes. Because if you really knew everything that was going to happen all the time, it might be fun for a while. But after a while, you get bored.
I don't really want to know everything. I don't want to know what everybody's thinking, and I don't want to know what everyone is going to do. That's distracting, and I think it could be very boring.
Yeah, and we like, most of us like surprises. I'm not so crazy about them, but and I say most of us because you actually like the surprises that you expect.
You like good surprises.
Not
that
the ones
you
that you
think are good. Yeah.
Don't expect. But variety
don't surprise me with the baby. That's not a good surprise. No, thank you. Don't bring home a dog. We didn't talk about that.
You got a new car.
We're moving. What? No, not those kind of surprises. Those kind of surprises. So
some people, desire uncertainty in the form of variety. They like spontaneity. They like to feel like a little bit. I don't really know what's going to happen today, but let's just see what the day has to bring, and just we're going to kind of flow with it. Let's play it by ear,
fly by the seat of our pants.
And I'm saying that sarcastically, and I apologize if I offend some people that actually might live that way, because it works for you. If it works for you, me, I told you already. Certainty is my it's high. It's a high value on my list. And so if you do value uncertainty, just know that about you. Know that about your spouse. If they're that kind of person, and once you know, you can understand what their needs are. It's a basic need for them.
Right. Why they might respond in a certain way to certain situations, because you may have a husband and a wife that, the husband is like, I've got 2 days off. Let's go to Cancun. And the wife is like, wait a minute. I need to plan. I got to get my hair done. I need a mani-pedi. All these things. And he's like, no, let's just go. And if that person doesn't want to go, it may tell you something about the need for knowing, the need for certainty, the need for security versus the need for suspense, excitement, the unknown. And, you can talk about those things and find areas where you can both enjoy the possibility. Like the wife might enjoy a suspenseful movie. You know, she might enjoy, what do you call that thing? Escape room or something like that. Yeah. Something that is contained but suspenseful and uncertain and exciting versus I don't know what's going to happen to me.
You know, let's just get in the RV and take off, you know, for the month and let's just wing it. That could work for some people.
For some people. I might be able to do that on a plane. You know,
but you know that
not
I'm not
on
going to have
RV.
you staying in a tent in the woods.
No. Oh no. We cannot do any of that.
That my uncertainty is not going to leave you feeling discomfort and pain, because really, I think that's the difference between the two. Is certainty is drawn away from pain, drawn away from discomfort, and uncertainty can possibly lead to discomfort, possibly lead
but
to...
the excitement and the unknown is more attractive
so
to
that's
that person. Yeah.
Certainty, uncertainty. So 3.
Significance. Ooh, this one is good. This one is good. You know, as much as we protest sometimes and say, well, you know, I don't care. I like to be in the background. And there are those who like to be in the background. I am a talker. You know, I'm a communicator. I've been an actor, singer, dancer, modeled for a little bit. I'm used to being out in the front, right? And I don't mind that. But it was from the time I was 11 years old, it became something that was, you know, second nature to me. And I say second nature because I think it was always there. It was always in me to not be afraid, to not be, you know, afraid to speak, to represent, that kind of thing. But everyone is not like that. But even those who are behind the scenes, you know, the ones that are running the cameras, writing the scripts, creating the choreography, or, you know, the program, the applications, doing the IT, all of those things, you know, people that we call sometimes nerds and brainiacs, and I think we shouldn't do that.
No,
but it takes those kind of people to make the world go round. They help to put together the structures that support those who are out front. And sometimes people do both sides of the coin. Like my husband mentioned, now I'm getting into production as well as singing. But the point that I want to make is this: everyone wants to feel significant. That's why they have those credits at the end of the movie. And sometimes I'm like, what a pity, because they just run them up so fast. And I'm like, you can't even see who did what. Everybody wants to feel. They may not want to have all of the attention on them, but they want to feel seen.
Yes.
I want you to know that my heart beats in this world as well. And that shows up in different ways. And it can be from a simple, you know, hi, can you see me, to, you know, I've got 11 tattoos on my forehead, and I have 16 earrings in one ear and 12 in the other. And, you know, my hair is bright red, purple, orange, green, and yellow. And, you know, I drive down the street with my music blaring, you know, as loud as I can get it. Now, that's just an example, but it's, you know, the person who's simply quiet and saying, see me, and the person who's screaming, see me. The root of their need might be something different, but everybody needs to be seen.
Yes. And, you know, we're not saying that you don't deserve it, because sometimes you can be in a relationship with someone that you think they don't see you, they don't notice you, they don't give you the respect that you know you deserve.
Yeah.
And it could be in your relationship or with other people. So sometimes the need for significance, the need to be noticed, need to be seen, and be respected also. If you're not given that, you want to take it. You want to get it back. You don't want somebody to take the significance, value, and tell you what value you are in their life. You know, some people use anger, they use raising the voice. Some people you know, use other actions to grab significance. I think anger is one of the fastest routes people sometimes use to get significance. Violence can be also one of those. You know, to go from feeling insignificant to significant.
Yeah, anger is I like to say it's a carrier for other emotions. Sometimes that's the go-to emotion to express that I'm feeling sad, I feel unseen, I feel embarrassed, I feel ashamed, I feel afraid, all of those things. And it's like, well, you're going to see me. Unfortunately, that person who will, commit a mass murder, like the person who shot up the movie theater some years ago, or, all of the things that happen, and you wonder, well, why would a person do that?
Yeah.
Why would a person do that? And then immediately we don't think about, well, I wonder we say, well, what's wrong with them? But do we really want to know what was wrong? What was missing in their life? Now, that's not in any way excusing what they have done, but that is a clear sign that I want power. I want to be seen. You're going to do what I say. So if I have this weapon, that makes me feel powerful. It makes me appear to be significant. And that's an extreme way to do so.
Yeah. And I think a lot of and we was shining a light on those major issues, and people say, well, I don't really face that. Well, in your own relationship,
scale it down.
When you go to when you have big arguments, you have big blow-ups, you have big fights, you like, I want to feel significant. I want you to notice what I'm saying. Do not dismiss me. Do not just say, well, you shouldn't feel that way. Do not tell me the value I should place on my feelings. And sometimes we get angry and raw, and we go in because we want the other person to say, you know what, I might not understand everything that you're going through, but I do recognize that you're going through. So I see you. I believe that's a need that we want.
And sometimes we get angry, and sometimes depending upon the communication style of a person, they may just get quiet. If it's that passive person, that passive aggressive person, they may say or do something to let you know. And if you're adaptive at reading the signals and figuring out what's really going on, then you may see it. And this is one of those things that happens in a relationship where the man or woman just, ups and leaves, or they cheat, or they stop paying attention, or they get to the place where they don't care whether or not they share intimacy. They sleep in the same room. They don't want to go places together. Well, why? You embarrass me. You make me feel small in front of other people. I don't feel significant. You and your friends, et cetera, and you talk about everything you do, and well, she's just this or that, or she just has this little business, or he's still working at that construction company, whatever it is. When whatever I bring to the relationship, whatever he brings to the relationship is a significant contribution. It takes all of that to cause us to go forward. And it may not be that it is as glamorous as some other job or position, but be grateful for your spouse. Even if they don't ask you, everyone loves to be appreciated. Again, they may not want a spotlight on them. Like my husband is having a significant birthday this year, and I am forbidden from giving him a birthday party. That is something that I would want to do, but it's not what he wants to do. So it's not loving or kind or considerate of me to say, well, it's your birthday and I'm going to do this because
you should have a party.
You should
want to have.
Well, he doesn't. So guess what? I got over it. That is not what he wants. And so we're going to do something else. What? I don't know. Whatever he wants to do on his birthday, because that doesn't make him feel, being seen, being the center of attention does not make him feel significant. Yeah.
And so, with that comes the need for maybe connection. That's the fourth one. Connection. It's amazing how a baby, when they have a woman gives birth and the baby comes out, and one of the things that their nursing staff really wants to do is actually have the baby make contact with that mother as soon as possible. I believe from birth, we desire the need for connection, to be with one another. Now, we separated this. We had connection and love. They were together. But my wife brought out a great point. But sometimes people desire connection, but they don't really know that they want the love part, because love is a whole other range of stuff. But they do desire to hold on to someone, and positive or negative, you can desire to be connected to someone that just ain't good for you.
That is not loving. Well, that's huge, because many people stay in relationships because they have connection. When I think about people who gravitate towards people that are unavailable, married men or married women, there is no promise that has to be kept there. I don't need to be everything to them. I can't be everything to them. I don't want to be everything to them. Whatever the excuses are, I'm going to say that are selfish. I'm going to say they're selfish, because if two people are in a union, there's no way that you in the union should break it to be with someone else, and you that are not a part of the union should enter to break that union between a husband and a wife. But I personally know people who have, dated married men, and I'm like, why? And immediately we want to, make that person a horrible person. But really, people do what they do for a reason. They are meeting some need in everything they do. The person who stays in a bad relationship, in an abusive relationship, something about that relationship is meeting a need. Maybe it is you have certainty. He may be unkind, but I know he's gonna do X, Y, Z. Whatever it is not enough.
Whenever I need something, he'll give it here.
Yeah.
Pull the Lowe's truck up. I don't know.
Whatever it is, but I know what's gonna happen. I know that my needs are gonna be met. I'm gonna be fed. There's variety. Maybe I like uncertainty and certainty, and I don't like the fact that he or she doesn't love me. I do desire that, but I crave connection more than I have the strength or the understanding that I could be alone.
And that leads us
I don't want to be alone.
Our fifth point, which is love.
Yeah.
Man, exactly what my wife said. We desire at some point to be loved. Now, you could say, man, I don't need love. Nobody needs to love me.
On some level.
On some level.
Yeah, whether it's platonic love and friendship.
There's some
or romantic love.
Even some marriages that might have been arranged in other countries or whatever, or they might not have loved the spouse when they got married.
Right.
But even that person, I believe, would desire love from their friends, their relatives, their sisters, brothers and sisters, mother or father. They desire to be loved, even if you might not, claim that you just need that from a husband or a wife.
And also you hope, even though marriages are arranged, there is a hope and a desire that they will grow into love.
Yes.
But that doesn't always happen on a level that we may or may not expect it to. And I think also it's the same in marriages that are not arranged. It takes work, it takes understanding, it takes investigating, it takes investing in your spouse to figure out what makes him or her work, what makes him or her tick, what do they like, why do they like that, what has happened with them to make them feel and think and be and behave that way, other than just saying the blanket statement, well, I don't know what's wrong with him or her, they're different from me. Well, yes, you're different too. And it's worth talking to one another to find out. So, we've got two more, and then I'll add what I was going to say.
And the last two, the first 5 were needs for basic human needs,
natural needs.
Yes, the last 2 are more on the spiritual side. These needs are met. It helps us feel like we're alive, like we're grown, we're doing something that's contributing to something bigger than us.
Right.
That's a need for growth. Because really, if you're not growing, you're shrinking or you're dying.
Right.
Even with businesses, there should not be such thing as a stable business. Either growing or you're not growing. You always should seek to grow. And in a relationship, the same way. You can be married for 20, 30 years, but still always work on your marriage. Always see, what can I do better? I'm talking about 20, we're 20, going to be 22 years in this, and I'm still seeking this whole, what we do here, the radio show, the podcast, the Facebook Lives, all of these help me to continue to look at me and say, what can I still do to grow?
How can we be better?
Me growing our marriage and for our marriage to thrive.
Right. Likewise, so we can grow and be better. And I just want to make another note about connection and love. love and connection can be, person to person, but it also can be spiritual. Do you desire prayer? Do you have faith? Do you have fellowship? Do you have relationship with God? Is that important to you? And how does that change you? I think that is something that will drive you into the last.
Well, yeah, because the last one is, if you made it this far, I know you're wondering, Vince, give it to me. Contribution.
Yeah.
I feel like we're always working towards something that's greater than us. Me, I love God.
Yeah.
I love the fact that he's given me another chance with my life and in our marriage. And the fact that even with our children and my family, all our extended, everybody's associated with us, we still have another chance to stay connected and to grow and thrive and to contribute to that. Man, it's one of my needs.
Yeah.
If I don't have contribution, if I'm not contributing to something, I think I don't know, I would feel, I guess the word empty comes to mind. Yeah,
it's interesting that you say that. My prayer the other day is, you say you would feel empty if you don't contribute, and I get that. I understand. I would feel like I was wasting my resources, and so my prayer was, Lord, I want to be empty. I want to be empty when I leave here, when I leave this earth. I want to impart what you've given to me. I want to share what's good, and I want to warn and be a witness about what is not good, and so that people who are alongside me and those that come behind me are able to have a better opportunity, a better vantage point, a better vision, a clearer path. That's really important.
It's really important. And understanding these needs, basic needs, even the human side and on the spiritual side, once you understand that about yourself, you can better see it in your partner, and you see what they gravitate to. You're like, wow, he's certain. He likes certainty in his life. Oh, that person, likes variety, uncertainty. That person likes significance. He wants to feel, connected. They wants to feel love to another person. Seen, yes. They want to grow. We're always trying to do new things and do new experiences and figure out better ways that we can. And then another person wants to contribute. I'm always giving. I want to give. Sometimes they give, so much that, they deplenish themselves.
Deplete themselves. Yes, absolutely. And babe, that's a really good point, because, too much of a good thing can be a bad thing. And so a person who may be always looking for certainty may be lacking in other areas. That may be a person whose esteem might be suffering if they're looking to everyone to, make them feel safe and, am I okay? Was that good? Listen, we need to seek order and balance. None of these things are bad things. It's just, how do we come to them? What filter are we looking at them through?
Yes. What's the value that we place on the order of these in your life? And then what's your belief about whether it can be achieved or cannot be achieved? And none of these are bad things, as my wife said. But sometimes when we have something that meets 3 or 4 of those needs, and it's basically 7 basic human needs, and it meets it, you can either be addicted to it in a bad way, like drugs and violence, or you can be driven in a good way. Yeah, you can be driven by it. So once you recognize, okay, wow, let me go back and look at this list, because this right here can help you understand your marriage so much better. Just me knowing, wow, this is why I love our marriage, our wife, my wife, my life, because it meets so many needs on so many levels. And I'm like, okay, wow, I understand how I'm driven to always get better, because it checks, and the value I place on that. So I understand for you to take a look at yourself, before you take a look at your spouse, and say which one of these, the order that you place the value in. And then from there, what's your belief about them?
Right. And can you rearrange that? Is it a healthy way that you look at, uncertainty, variety, love, connection, significance, growth? What am I missing? Contribution. How do you look at that? Do you place too much value on a certain thing? Is what's happening as a result of your value bringing negativity or positivity to your life? It really speaks to your habits. If you have habits that you cannot seem to break, put them through the lens of all of these needs and see. I have this bad habit of, I'm going to tell myself, sometimes I do really well with eating well. And other times I just don't. I get to a point where I want something salty. I want something sweet. I want some ice cream. I want whatever I want. And I had gone a whole year without touching any of that, and then back to it. And what I realized is that there are, these things that fire in your brain when you have comfort food. If there's stress, and it's like, why was I able to not do it for a certain time? And then for a time, I just kind of fell back. And then as we began to read and talk about these things, it's like, wow, what need is that meeting? Why is my brain bypassing the fact that I know this is not good for me in the long run and saying I still want it anyway? That is huge for me. That's something I have to work on. But it's so
great that you noticed that, about yourself.
Yeah.
And now you know how to, either attack it or, what things that you can do.
To be aware of it.
To be aware of it. And I urge you to look, like my wife said, look through the lens, through this filter of these 7 basic human needs, and self-evaluate yourself. And then also look to say, hey, what is my spouse needing from me? Because we can't make anybody do anything, but they can look to you, and you do have the ability to help them, just grow as a person. And with that, I urge you to stay tuned, because this is what our heart's desire is. For couples pursuits, to have people to grow and maintain a successful relationship, and to get to the point where you can actually do this for other people, and also for your family, because with healthy marriages come healthy communities. Healthy communities, healthy marriages come healthy families. Healthy families come healthy communities. Healthy communities have better cities have better nations. Better nation is a better world.
Seems like a small thing, but it's really huge. And one of the major things, one of the most common things people say about marriage is, most people don't stay married. And then we repeat that. And then we talk about a 7-year itch. And then we say things like men always cheat. And then, all of these things that we confess that are negative, that tear down the integrity of a marriage. People need to know, I can be married. I can stay married. Even if right now I do not like my spouse. I don't like him.
Draw that line in the
I
bed.
wish that he would just move, like go somewhere else. Right? I mean, literally, there was a point where we felt like, okay, this is not going to work. Who we are doesn't work together. Yes, I love you, you love me. That's not enough. It's not going to work. What we found out is if we dig in and do the hard work, if we do the investigating, if we do the investing, the pouring into each other of time, if we do the, the self, the introspection, look at me and see what's going on with me, and not make excuses. Well, I grew up this way, or this is just how I feel, or this is just how it is, and you should have known when you met me. And all these things we say that are very polarizing, that are divisive, that don't say we, it says me. When we can start tearing that stuff down and being real about why we are the way we are, good, bad, ugly, indifferent, misunderstood, confused, sad, traumatized. When we talk about all of that, all of the layers, it's like an onion. You just peel it back, all those layers, and then you get to the center, and you can really just be together. And that's the point that we are so grateful to have reached, where we don't allow frustration, confusion, dissension, arguments, pettiness, dispositions, likes and dislikes, preferences. We talk about those things. I don't want him to do things that he doesn't necessarily like to do, but sometimes he does things with me, for me, on his own that he doesn't necessarily like to do because he knows that I like to do it. But I don't force him to do that. He'll go shopping with me. He'll stay in the car, but he'll take me. He'll go. We might go out to eat. We have good conversation, but he's not going to walk around the store and watch me pick out stuff and try on clothes.
Yeah, I'm not. Look, they need a stool, a chair, a couch. You know what? Think about it. I told one owner this. You need something for the men. We can't stand there holding our ladies' pocketbook.
I don't make him hold my purse, y'all. Digress, babe. Digress. And on the other end, I'm not a sports person. Sometimes I don't even like to hear the noise of sports. It's distracting to me. But there are times when I will sit in the room with him while he's watching. I will engage, especially when it's March Madness time, or And now our son plays basketball. Our grandson plays basketball, and so I'm more involved than I ever have been in years past because it's important to them. Not something I ever grew up with, but it's important to them. So we have to come out of our shell and stop thinking that this is the way that I am and that someone should just envelop themselves around your way of being. That's selfish.
Yeah. I mean, so this was so good.
Yeah.
And I really believe, we're going to make a video, baby. We're going to tell our testimony. We're going to share. I just think it will bless so many people because
we'll have to have someone interview us, I guess.
Okay.
We might have to do that. Yeah.
This was good.
Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope that you got something out of it, that you could identify with it. Again, as I said before, like, share, read this for yourself or review this video for yourself, but also consider that maybe your spouse might want to review it as well. Talk about it,
Yeah.
It'll change your life.
Thank you for hanging out with us.
Yes, thank you.
And like my wife said, please share. Tell someone else about it. And go back and look at it again. I left the notes, the 7 basic needs in the comments. Urge you to write them down for yourself and reflect.
Yeah. If you have questions, feel free to, send those questions. You can put them in the chat or you can email us at support@couplespursuit.com and we will respond to you.
Yes.
Thank you for tuning in.
We love reading them.
Yeah. Until next time, we'll see you on Couples Pursuit Live.
Bye.